Hi guys, we just purchased this turkey fryer from Bass Pro Shop.
We're gonna put it together, and the reason why we got it is to cook our corn for fishing. We use the deer corn, and it has to soften up before we use it as a bait for carps. So hopefully this is gonna help us with cooking, and like I said, we're gonna put it together. So let's do it. So we got it put together, and it took us a little longer than we thought, and we had to do a little adjustment on the timer because this fryer has a timer only allows 15 minutes for the fryer to be working on. Then you have to kind of start it all over again. So of course we researched some video on YouTube, and we did a little adjustments, and now we are ready to turn it on and see how it's gonna cook our corn.
So now we're gonna see if this light's on fire.
There we go. We got fire.
Putting water in the bucket to the corn.
And maybe like 5 inches of corn, and I would say maybe another 10 inches of water on top of that.
So we're gonna put the corn on the cooker, and we're at least gonna let it sit for a few hours. So we cooked our corn for at least 4 hours last night, and then we dumped some hot water in here, and we put the corn in there, and we let it sit overnight, and look, it just splits right in your fingers.
Another day, another weekend in the summer, and we are packing again and going fishing.
We're all packed up and we're ready to go. We have an hour drive to go to the Hudson River. So soon, right now actually, we're going to cross the Hudson River.
So we are scouting for our new spot on the Hudson River. We've been looking for like a couple hours for a better place, but so far we weren't able to find anything. Everything is privately owned, and the access to the water from the shore, I mean, it's so hard because so much private land. So hopefully soon.
So many holes along these trees because the carps come up here and just suck the ground, and it makes holes. And when we're just walking right along the edge, we fall into it. Putting my shoes on. Okay.
So we found a place where we're gonna try to fish, and it's been a kind of hike. It took us like 3 hours to drive in by the Hudson River.
We took all of our stuff to our campsite, and look, this is our campsite. Got 2 uprooted trees, this little area where fishing rods are gonna be right there, our tent's gonna be right up there. I gotta go and get all the firewood and unpack all the stuff. 15 minutes into the wood collection, and I've only got this much wood. Not a lot. There's not too much wood over here. Not a lot.
So we got our tent, and most of our stuff is unpacked, and now it's time to mix our bait so we can start baiting the carp. So we got our deer corn, what we cooked last night, and we have our fish meal, which we're gonna mix with a little bit of molasses and make it a little sweeter. We're gonna add a little bit of strawberry jello, and that should be all. And we'll see what we're gonna put on a hook. But as of right now, like I said, we're gonna just do the bait and start baiting. We got a lot of corn.
Yeah, a lot.
As you can see, it's nice and squishy.
Squishy.
And it's gonna make perfect bait. We're gonna add a little bit of the
molasses.
Yeah. Bit of the fish meal, what I put from the big bag. Just
take a little.
Here. It's high on protein, and the fish love that. One day gonna start eating that. They're gonna come back and back because, yeah, it's a main source of protein. So as you see, it smells pretty good. Yeah, smells sweet and salty. And so this is the rod what we are using for baiting, and it's a sturdy rod because we're casting a heavy weight on it, and it's a Shakespeare Alpha rod. We got it. It wasn't very expensive, around $30. And the reel we'll be using on it, it's a Sugulank 7000, and with a 40-pound line, and that's do the job.
So this is our feeding tool. It's kind of like a little bomb, and when it hits the water, it opens up and it drops all of your bait.
Let's start baiting.
This is our first time ever using this rod, so let's see how it goes. Not bad.
Not at all.
And that's how it works.
That's how it works. Let's fill it up again.
So right now we are casting our rods into the water. So, what do you think about that cast, Daddy?
It was great. Just right where we baited. So it should be all good.
So this is our setup for the second rod.
So we only doing 2 corns and a pop-up boilie on the end. And a little bit of tungsten putty. So that thing is gonna be probably floating like 3 inches above the ground. As you probably can see. Quieter. Here comes this tanker.
Look at this. It's huge.
Now wait for the waves now. It looks like tsunami. First the water went off, and now all the water coming back up. We're gonna have to recast after this for sure. Our lines got pulled left and right. Yep. Yeah, the lines were down there, now they're suddenly up there, yeah? Thank you, boat. We are using 2 12-footers and 1 10-foot rods, and Daiwa rods. They are telescopic rods. We are pretty happy with them because it's easier to go through the woods and make a trips like when we are going, so at least they are not breaking up and sticking when we're climbing through all these jungles. So yeah, so let's recast, and hopefully we'll get a fish soon.
Yep.
The corn.
Plain corn with some scent.
With some scent.
Fruit punch, I think, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Number 1. This rod is number 2.
Yep.
Just a plain corn with a papa boilie.
At the end.
Papa boilie at the end. Straight.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And here goes the third one.
Third one. And the third one, this is a 10-footer, and we put the anise, our homemade anise boilie, and it's a pop-up homemade anise boilie. If you watch the other videos, you can see how we make them. Guys, we just got our first bite. That's the rod number 1. That was a plain corn soaked in a punch.
Yep.
Sense. I can feel that something's there, but it's a little small.
What the heck is that? That's a catfish.
We got our small catfish.
Look at this thing. It's the tiniest thing in the world.
It's a small catfish. You can hear him talking. Little guy. All right, so that's a plain corn. So we'll see how our fishing is gonna be going.
Wrong way, boy. There he goes.
There it goes. First fish.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like 9:30 in the evening, and we just got bite. How does it feel, Patrik?
It doesn't feel like a big fish. Not huge. But there's a fish on, I think.
Anise boilie. That's the one. Anise boilie. We got another catfish. Hey, good job.
Thank you. It's 10:30 and we still haven't caught any carp. Only 2 catfish. And I think we're gonna call it a day. And we'll see what happens overnight.
Good morning, guys. So we woke up like just a few minutes ago, and we came outside. Patrik's making fire already because he's cold. It's 5:30 in the morning. But what we realized, our rods and everything were almost underwater. I had to move them up, and we lost our bait bucket. We left it, I thought, pretty high, but obviously it wasn't high enough, and the water must took our bait bucket, and I left our good scents inside the bait bucket. So a little upset first thing in the morning that we lost it. But there's nothing what we can do. I've been looking around, but I cannot see it. But the water is just way high.
Way up here.
Way up here. I mean, you see where the water was already. I mean, it was another 8 feet up, and slowly start dropping. It's in the last few minutes what we are up. I can see it went already like a foot down. But hey, it's a beautiful morning.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning and we had one good bite, but we lost it. So I'm just here and a fish just took, and I don't know if he's still on or not, but he just took the rod. I think he came off. Yep. I missed him. Now I'm just walking around, and this area, what I'm standing on right now, is covered in water. It's basically, when high tide comes, this is all underwater, and it's low tide now, so all the water just went down. And look, these are from all the carp that are sucking, and they come up here when it's high tide, and they just suck and for their food. And look at this little stream. It just comes right here, and it goes all the way down, and it goes into the river. So I'm just heading back, and my dad's just pulling in a fish.
It's coming right here. Coming right here. You can see it.
It's a catfish. It's another catfish.
Another small catfish. And we got it. Okay, we got one. This is gonna be our last one for a day. but strawberry boilie make the job.
Okay, this is the catfish that we caught, and I'm gonna let it go. And I had a good time fishing, and we're gonna come back.
See you next time.